Okay, we're at Judith in the Apocrypha, the 13th chapter, the 4th verse. So all went forth, and none was left in the bedchamber, neither little nor great. Then Judith, standing by his bed, said in her heart, said in her mind, O most high power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, power of all power, look at this present upon the works of mine hands for the exaltation of Jerusalem. So look at this present time that we're in. The Syrians want to come and take us down. And let the works of my hand bring forth the exaltation of Jerusalem, our people, the Hebrews, Israelites. Verse 5, for now is the time to help thine inheritance, which are the 12 tribes of Israel, and to execute mine enterprises to the destruction of the enemies which are risen against us. Then she came to the pillar of the bed, which was at Holophena's head. Now he done drank more than he ever drank in one day. Then she came to the pillar of the bed, which was at Holophena's head, and took down his fashion from thence, and approached to his bed, and took hold of the hair of his head, and said, strengthen me, O most high power of Israel, this day. Listen. And she smote twice upon his neck with all her might. She said, wow, whoa, 2 times with all her might upon his neck. With all her might. And she took away his head from him. What kind of strength she had? Oh, you hear this? She hit him 2 times and took his head off. And she smote twice upon his neck with all her might. And she took away his head from him. Took his head away from him. He can do nothing. Finished. Finished. Listen what she did. And tumbled his body down from the bed. Pushed his body off the bed. Remember, she got his head. That's what she did. Verse 7, as she and approached to his bed and took hold of his hair of his head. She got a hold of his hair of his head in one hand. And said, strengthen me, O most high power of Israel, this day. And she smote twice upon his neck. Let me get it right. With one hand. Whoo! Whoo! With his hair in the other hand. And she smote twice upon his neck with all her might. And she took away his head from him. And tumbled his body down from the bed and pulled down the canopy from the pillars. And Anan, after she went forth, and gave Holophenas his head to her maid, gave his head to her maid. Now this a powerful Israelite woman. Simeonite. She gave his head to her maid, and she put it in her bag of meat. So they twain them two went together according to their custom unto prayer. And when they passed the camp, they compassed the valley and went up the mountain of Bethulia and came to the gates thereof. Then said Judah afar off to the watchman at the gate, open, open now the gate. The Most High, even our power, is with us to show his power, yet in Jerusalem, and his forces against the enemy, as he have even done this day. Now when the men of her city heard her voice, they made haste. They were hurrying up to go down to the gate of their city. And they called the elders of the city. And then they ran all together, both small and great. For it was strange unto them that she was come. So they opened the gate and received them, and made a fire for a light, and stood round about them. Then she said to them with a loud voice, Praise, praise the Most High. Hello, Yahweh. Praise the Most High. I say, for he hath not taken away his mercy from the house of Israel, but have destroyed our enemies by mine hands this night. So she took the head out of the bag. This is a woman. She took the head out of the bag. Woo. And showed it, and said unto them, Behold, the head of Haliphines, the chief captain of the army of Ashur. And behold, the canopy, wherein he did lie in his drunkenness. And the Most High hath smitten him by the hand of a woman. As the Most High liveth, who have kept me in my way that I went, my countenance hath deceived him to his destruction. You know? The way she dressed and looked deceived him to his destruction. And yet hath he not committed sin with me to defile and shame me. Hear that? Yet have he not laid with her. And if he did lay with her, she said she would be defiled and shamed. He did not lay with her. That's what she's saying. And yet hath he not committed sin with me to defile and shame me. And all the people were wonderfully astonished, and bowed themselves and worshipped the Most High, and said with one accord, Blessed be thou, O Most High, our power, which have this day brought to nothing the enemies of thy people. Then said Osias unto her, O daughter, blessed art thou of the Most High power above all the women upon earth. And blessed be the Most High power, which have created the heavens and the earth, which have directed thee to the cutting off of the head of the chief of our enemies. But this thy countenance shall not depart from the heart of men, which remember the power of the Most High forever. And the Most High turn these things to thee for a perpetual praise, to visit thee in good things, because thou hast not spared thy life for the affliction of our nation, but hast revenged our ruin, walking a straight way before our power. And all the people said, so be it, so be it. So that's an example of a powerful woman that saved us from the hands of the Assyrians, took the head off of the enemy. Once she did that, what you think they did? It was out of there. They came in there and seen the body. Whoa. Scared them. You continue to read the other chapters left in the book of Judah. Powerful woman. And you can read during the time of Purim about Esther. The same thing. So yeah, we did have very powerful women. You know, she had to be really, really, really a powerful woman to chop his head off. One hand, one arm, with the strength of the Most High, put his head in the bag of meat, bring it back to the Israelites, and say, here's your enemy right here. This is your enemy. Holding his head up in her hand. So let's go to some more of our brothers and sisters in dealing with humility. Look at Isaiah the 38th chapter. Isaiah the 38th chapter. And this is concerning Hezekiah, Isaiah the 38th chapter. Let's look at verse 1. Isaiah 38:1. In those days was Hezekiah sick unto death, and Isaiah the prophet, the son of Amos, came unto him and said unto him, Thus said the Most High Power, Set thine house in order, but thou shalt die and not live. Then Hezekiah turned his face toward the wall and prayed unto the Most High and said, Remember now, O Most High, I beseech thee, how I have walked before thee in truth and with a perfect heart, and have done that which is good in thy sight, keeping the Most High's commandments, his rules and regulations. And Hezekiah wept sore. He cried to the Most High. You keep hearing this over and over again. Those that have ears to hear. Then came the word of the Most High of Isaiah concerning Hezekiah. Concerning Hezekiah. Just a moment.